Well, now that we officially have the next entry after Superman in James Gunn's DCU, it doesn't look like things are going very well. Despite every media outlet and all of the artificially astroturf fan base for James Gunn's Superman, when they all promised you it was going to be a smash hit and then tried to gaslight you into thinking that $615 million on that massive budget and marketing budget was actually a smash hit, we found out that no, it actually did not make money at the theaters. In fact, it was about $40 million from breaking even at the theaters. Well, the next thing up was Peacemaker. The next thing to get excited about, the next thing that James Gunn hyped up as being so important for the future of the DC universe. And it turns out all of that excitement didn't really help Peacemaker when it came to the ratings. The ratings have been abysmal for Peacemaker. And finally, this slog came to an end just a few days ago. And people are not really happy. In fact, it is the lowest rated Peacemaker episode by the audience. And a lot of people did not like what they saw, including people who have really liked what James Gunn's doing and have been hyped for what James Gunn is doing. Even they can't defend this because, quite frankly, I was not a big fan of Peacemaker season 1. I thought it was very meh. Wasn't really into it. Didn't despise or anything. Just really couldn't get into Peacemaker season 1. But when that's just one random streaming show in an entry of a ton of different random DCEU entries over the past 15 years, it is what it is. When it's the follow-up to Superman, which is really, Superman was the launching of the universe. You had Creature Commandos, which nobody fucking watched. Superman is the true launching of this universe for most people. This is what you hyped as your follow-up. This show that kind of went nowhere, that seemed so fucking messy in terms of the script and the writing and what they actually wanted you to take away from this, which seemed like just an excuse to keep James Gunn's wife, like it's such a big centerpiece of this DC universe. It seemed like a massive waste of time. And of course, we had the Earth X story that didn't even need to be in this season. They just wanted it to be in there so they could tell you that, you know, modern day isn't really that different from a world being controlled by Nazis. It was so retarded. And a lot of people are now feeling exactly the same way about this, to the point where it started conversations about James Gunn's future as head of DC Studios. After only a few projects, this is where we are, because Superman wasn't the hit that people tried to claim it was. And now this follow-up has left such a bad taste in so many people's mouths. And we're going to go through a couple of these replies from people, a couple things that are kind of, you know, getting a lot of attention on social media. But I first wanted to go to James Gunn's reaction in the aftermath of Peacemaker. James Gunn, who is very, very not sorry for this dog shit he just put you through.
Hi, Latino America. Yes, that was the ending. No, I'm not sorry. Yes, it's streaming. HBO Max. No, you can't DM me about it. Okay, fine. 1 DM.
So obviously a little lighthearted there from James Gunn, but no, I'm not sorry. This was like, he recorded this before the episode came out, and he's already saying, no, I'm not sorry, right? Well, here's some of the responses that people had, even people that were supporting the show and supporting James Gunn. You can't even spoil this finale because nothing fucking happened. I'm crying. Also, this is not just because there wasn't any big cameos or whatever. It's because quite literally, this season didn't need to be as long as it was. This season could have been like a 90-minute special released on streaming. Didn't need to be 8 fucking episodes. But when it comes to the cameos and stuff, I'm fine with telling a great story without cameos. James Gunn promised everybody a bunch of cameos. He was teasing a Blue Beetle appearance in this. He was doing everything he could to convince people to watch this dog shit. But here we are. The entire season finale was just a long music video. Yes, it was very much James Gunn. Look, this is, let me see if I can find this one, because James Gunn was now hyping Supergirl, which is not going to do great at the box office. Supergirl especially is a space adventure. It's like Guardians in our movie news, who was hyping the fuck out of James Gunn just a few months ago. Everything he's made has been like Guardians, LOL. And, you know, talking to people in replies, I noticed how positive and open-minded you approach the DCU. Now I'm wondering what changed that. I'm still open-minded, but I'm judging what I see, which means it hasn't gone well. And no, it hasn't gone well. Let's just be honest with ourselves. And yes, everything is like Guardians. Superman feels, even though it's rated PG-13, Superman felt like a PG Guardians. Peacemaker felt like an R-rated or even X-rated at times Guardians. That's what he does at this point. John Roca, who I can't stand this dude. He was slobbing on James Gunn's knob for the Nazi parallels to our own world just recently. Even he couldn't defend this shit. I love the Peacemaker season 1 finale. I wish I felt the same way about Peacemaker season 2 because that was an utter snore fest. It showed us the limits and cheesy instincts of James Gunn's writing sometimes. And no, it wasn't because it didn't have some big action sequence or big cameo. I see some people saying that nonsense to denigrate people not liking this finale. I try to do character development, provide depth for its characters, yet it failed miserably at both. It chose to go the Lifetime route to resolve the deep, emotionally complex issues all these characters had been dealing with all season. All it takes is one conversation, and we're all fine now, y'all. I saw Arctic Ninja say this. I'm checked out on Peacemaker. Had a blast with season 1, but season 2 is a slog. It felt like an indulgent parade of Harcourt. James Gunn's wife plays Harcourt, by the way, who fucks everybody while James Gunn watches. I think there might be something going on there. Metal bands and juvenile humor stuff with lame guest appearances and a meandering storyline that went nowhere. Cena got a few moments to rise to the acting challenge, but the lovesick narcissist psychopath shtick gets old real quick. He's better than what he had to work with. I'm stepping off this train. I hope the future DC shows and films under Gunn's guidance don't all walk and talk like this. They will. The ones that James Gunn's involved with will, because this is all he knows how to do. Because it all just feels like R-rated CW drivel at this point. I think that's being mean to some of the CW superhero shows that came out. I really do think that's being mean to them. And now there are conversations about James Gunn and him interfering and how frustrated some people are with them. And if this Warner Brothers buyout goes through, that he would be out on his ass, all of these things. And we're barely into the DCEU. They needed Superman to be a massive smash hit. It wasn't that, even though they tried to lie to everybody about it. And when you advertise this as your big follow-up, your R-rated, mature-rated follow-up to Superman that everybody needs to watch for the future of the DC universe going forward, and this is what you deliver, it's understandable that there's criticism. But according to James Gunn, he's not sorry. He doesn't care. And maybe you can send him a DM if you're really that mad about it. James Gunn's DC universe, not off to a good start.